Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have another color along for you. This page is in Le Grand Classique Tome 11, and this is pages 31 and 32. The reason I have this page to do is because I want to go over how I use my Languo gel pens. So I have most of these colors are going to be gel pens, but some of them aren't. Like I have a Posca here and I have a Guangna. So, but the majority are these gel pens. So kind of a tutorial on how to use these before I get started. So when you get these, I got mine from Shein. It came, like all of them come in packs of 9 in different like shade ranges, and then I just ordered a huge pack of all of them. But it has this little cap that comes on it and it's really tight on there, so I took scissors and I picked it off, and then I got this little ball of sticky tack, which is it's actually mounting putty. This is what it looks like, the packaging, and it comes with like squares of putty. And I just took that, and initially I shoved this super far in, like probably a half an inch in there, like it was more than that. But then when I started using these, the paint would come out way too quickly. So then I realized I need to take these off and actually just place them on like that. Like that's all of the air that needs to be suppressed from coming in to these. You don't have to do this trick. I just think that if you've ever used a gel pen before, they write very, like there's not a lot of ink that's coming out of them at a time. It's more juicy than a regular pen, but if you've ever used a gel pen before, they're the same thing. But when you do this trick, it makes the ink flow a little bit faster. So that way you're not spending hours and hours and hours on one section, and it's just easier to get through colors. So I actually numbered all of these according to a TikTok that I saw that actually, she did the Encanto page. So I did all of the numbers that she did so I could use the exact same pens for that page. But this page, I did all of my own, I used the same numbers, but I actually did all of my own color range. I didn't have the gray set. That's the only one that didn't come with my set of gel pens, was the grays. So these grays are actually Tuliart, and then that one is a Tuliart, Southwestern, and then all of these Tuliart, all of these are gel pens. These two are the Guangna. And then here's the back if you want to see this. I do have 2 Poscas, another Tuliart, 2 brown Tuliarts, which I used for these guys. But yeah, pause this if you want to do it. If you want the original on how to number your pens, it's a TikToker. Her name is Anyela. I'm not sure how you spell it. Anyela. Anyela. I don't know. She's French. She's blonde. And I came across, she's pretty big on TikTok. So honestly, I'm sure you've seen her videos before. But today, I actually am doing a video for TikTok and posting pictures of how long each like hour took. So actually an hour took me these 2 guys. And I think I'm on an hour, 2 hours and a half right now. So also sorry for my nails. I wish I was left-handed because then my hand would look nice with my nails. But for some reason, I guess my right hand I use a lot more, so these nails came off. But with all of that, I'm going to zoom you guys in so you can see what I'm doing. And again, hopefully I am able to stay out of the way of the camera. I will try to do that as much as possible, but honestly, there are just no guarantees with where my hand is going. So I'm going to start out. I like to start out with the lighter colors because it is easier to cover up the darker colors than it is the, let me make sure. Okay, I think I'm all focused, but yeah, I actually, now that I have figured out the gel pens, I am really liking them. The first picture that I did with them, I couldn't understand why the paint flow was so excessive, and the page that I did just, it turned out fine. Like you couldn't tell. I just struggled with it. It was my Tangled page when she was like in the city. Like the paint was just pooling so bad, and I had to like keep using a Post-it note to like get all the extra ink off before I went onto the page. But once I figured out that I was just extra when I put on the tack, then like it just changed everything. So yeah, hopefully you can see how well this works. The other hard thing with filming and using these is that the gel pens work best when you're like straight up and down like that. When you're to the side, kind of like I can do with my Tule Arts, it just doesn't work as well. Like, just, I guess, because the paint doesn't come off any of the sides, it comes directly off of, you know, the very tip. So again, sorry if it's not as fun to watch, but I shall do my best, you know? So yeah, so I'm trying to time this page. I don't even remember if I mentioned why I picked this page. I think I did slightly, but I picked this double page because Tomb 11 has a ton of great double pages that are just beautiful. And so I'm trying to get through them as much as I can, but you know, I kind of have to prioritize what I'm doing because they just take so long. They take literally 3 weeks at least. Sometimes I can get them done in 2. We'll see how much I can get done in this one. Anyways, they just take so long, so I kind of have to prioritize which ones I'm doing. Or else I would only be able to do like technically 4 pages, but 2 double pages a month maybe. And that's just not great for content making. That would be really boring finished pages. So I like to start them at the beginning of the month. That way, if I don't finish, I can kind of catch up with some of my other books. And that's actually what I did last month, and it worked out fine. But all that being said, I looked at this page in the back, which I don't like doing, but I'm kind of leaning towards doing that just because I am trying to pick pages that I really want to do and not just doing pages for the mystery, because I have so many books and I want to get to pages that I love doing, because you never know when I'm going to be unable to have time to color. Like, I'm not going to be able to color like this for the rest of my life. So I do want to try to prioritize those pages. And this page specifically, I don't know if you can tell from the pinks already and like the light beiges, but the colors were just beautiful. And I also haven't seen a lot of coloring people do this, like on TikTok or YouTube. I just haven't seen a lot of artists pick up this page. So that was another reason, was it is kind of a mystery because I haven't seen it done 100 times, but also, I just was very drawn to the pictures. I have not seen this movie. Sorry, that was a loud gulp. I have not seen this movie. I think it's called Onward. Any of the new age Disney movies, I actually have not seen like most of them, just because I am an adult. So, surprise. So I do need to watch it. I haven't heard many things at all about it. I just watched Elemental a couple months ago. That one was pretty good. And I do like there are a lot of pretty coloring pages in that bad boy. Another thing I'm going to go over in this video that's kind of like a tutorial, someone asked me how I get on these double pages, how I get into the seam, like between the pages, how I'm able to color those. And I'll kind of show you how to do it the best I can. Again, it might be really hard to demonstrate, but I will do my best. Because it's not easy. It's not super, you just gotta do the best you can, basically. But yeah, making sure that I'm still in frame. So the last time I did a coloring video, I did a whip, and I liked that series start. It's a good one. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I talked about having my son's birthday party, and we did have that, and it was really fun. He got a bunch of toys, so now my house is basically covered in toys, which is fine. I just need to learn how to organize them and like find spots for them, because I got a toy chest from my friend because she was giving hers away, and of course it was like already full with not even half of his toys. So it doesn't help that he has 2 little people play sets in there, so those take up way too much space. But yeah, it's just a whole, and I know it's gonna get worse as he gets older, because he's just gonna keep accumulating toys. He's still not out of the baby phase though, because he just turned 1, so like he still is interested in baby toys, but he did get a lot of like toddler toys, because like the little people, he just likes picking them up and putting them in his mouth, so he's not necessarily playing with them like any sort of structure or anything like that. So all right, working my way down here on these. This color, this lighter beige, was a Posca, and I actually did that first, not only because it's light, but I didn't realize when I was making my color code that the beige I only have in a 3mm nib, which is just, fat. So I wanted to make sure I went in there, because I wasn't going to be able to be as precise, obviously, with these super fine tips. Oh my gosh, I'm not even, sorry. I thought I was showing the marker the whole time. But this is what it looks like. So obviously it's fat, and so getting in these lines is nearly impossible. So, all right, now I'm going to switch on over to the seam. So with these books, or with this book specifically, just with the other double pages that I have done, I have really broken in, oh gosh, you can't see. I've really broken this binding of the book in, and if you haven't done that, definitely do that. Don't go crazy with it, but what is nice is on this page, basically it was completely flat, because this is the first page in the book. So these seams I could get literally onto the next page, but since this is further into the book, I really have to push this side. And again, I'm gonna try my best to show this on camera, but push it to the side, and I have already kind of outlined in there, but just get as close as you possibly can to that center line, and you want to do it on both sides. So you want to do it on this side and then kind of rotate it and do it on this side that way you're getting as close as you can to the middle. So when you open up your book like this, it's a continual line. So let me demonstrate with one that I have not been able to get. Okay, so this one's pretty close. So this one is the same color, so I'm going to, and I am in way out of like my normal positioning, but so I just did that. And there's one right here on the other side. So just, and it is easier with these gel pens. When I have my Tule Arts, it's pretty difficult, and so sometimes I'll accidentally get it on the other side. But again, it doesn't have to be perfect. Like when you're looking at this book like that, like you can't even see what I just drew. So don't stress out about it too much. It's gonna look as good as you can get it, and that's a-okay. But that is how I get into the seam for whoever gave me that comment. Thank you. I'm sure some of the other people have thought that before. Yeah, I think this is becoming my hands down favorite book because, like, seriously, the artwork is just so pretty. Like, you know, when you see a page and you're just drawn to it, you're like, oh, I can't wait to do that page. That's how I feel about most of these pages. Like, just the artwork and the colors are just so bright. Like, who wants to do a dim brown photo of, like, I don't even know, a character, just one character, like, close up? Like, I don't want to do that. I like the scenes and I like the super detailed work because it just looks better. So that's why I really like this book. So eventually my dream would be to finish this book, but we'll see. I think I have 16 pages done in here, which is actually on the higher end of like completed pages for a book for me personally. I only have a couple other books that have more in there. So as you draw with your gel pen, the ink goes down. So as I'm drawing, as the ink goes down, the paint flow or the ink flow starts to lessen, like it gets drier and drier. So then every once in a while I do have to take off the tack and put it back on, just because I guess it, like, as it goes down, it kind of sucks in and you have to like kind of reset it. So that's another good reason why you shouldn't shove the tack in there, because you are going to be pulling it off of the end of the pen and then putting it back on, like, often. So yeah, well, that's at least what I do. You do not have to do that. I'm curious if anyone else has finished this page. Like I said, I have not seen a lot of people do it. I've seen a ton of people do the Encanto house or the Madrigal house, whatever. I've seen a lot of people do the Alice in Wonderland page, which I have not done. I've seen a ton of people do the Ariel page with the castle or like the kingdom in the background. That one is on my to-do list for sure. But this one just doesn't come up as much. I don't know if it's just because people don't really connect with the movie or anything, like if that has to do with it, or yeah, like I don't know. I could just be mistaken. So I'm trying to get in here so you guys can look at that again. I must be, yeah, I don't know if I'm mistaken and people have done this page before, but let me know if you guys have, just because I'm curious if I'm just missing something or not. So a lot of people have also asked about the dry time for these pens, and I will say I think that they're definitely a longer dry time than my acrylic paint markers. So with my acrylic paint markers, I probably have to wait maybe 30 seconds. With the brush tips, you don't have to wait that long. But like I'm saying with my Thule Arts or my Grabby, my like 0.7 nibs, or even my thicker nibs, like the 3. Okay. So when the ink starts to run out, I don't know if you guys can tell, but it looks a little scratchy. Like it doesn't look as smooth as up here. So sometimes when it gets scratchy like that, that's when I know I have to take the tack out and put it back in. And then eventually when it dries, I go back over it. If you go back over it immediately, then it just moves the ink around and it does not look good. So you kind of just have to be on your toes using these. Like, it's worth it just in the end, but what was I talking about? Gosh dang it. Oh, the paint drying. So I will say these probably take a couple minutes to dry, like 2 or 3. If you guys pay attention, like to when I go over a section and then when it looks matte, you'll be able to tell. I'm not paying attention to that. But when I do use these, often I will jump around sections or just be really conscientious of my other fingers, because there have been many times that I've accidentally put my fingers into not dry ink and I have smudged it where it should not be, and that sucks. But the pens are like, they do cover because they are opaque enough that it's not a huge deal, because I just go over that section with the original color that it should be, and typically it covers it up. But that's why I like to jump around, because that way I don't even have to worry about where my hand is placed. Because sometimes when I'm doing the super thin lines and super detailed areas, like all the bumps and ridges, I like to have my full hand like free and use it as I please. That way I can get it as precise as I want. But you gotta do what you gotta do. Especially when you're doing one area, kind of like how I wanted to have the guys done, like the 2 guys on the side, done for my picture for TikTok, just because I thought that would be cooler picture than just jumping around and having random colors everywhere. Like these guys. So with them, I really had to make sure that I was aware of where the wet paint was, and then also not doing sections right next to each other. So if you'll notice, before this video, I actually outlined all of the sections kind of that I wanted to color, because sometimes I get my head into frame because I'm trying to focus and I have to get pretty close. But when they're already outlined, all I have to do, is fill it in. So that's why I outlined the sections before this, but I had to wait until one section completely dried to do the next section, like the light pink I did before I did this darker pink. So I kind of had to jump around to ensure that I wasn't like mixing the colors. It would have probably been fine. I just don't love how it looks when, colors are encroaching on other colors. Sorry that I keep moving this around. I just want to make sure that you guys are in good position to see everything that I'm doing. So yeah. Sorry, this is the point where I run out of things to talk about and I don't really know what to say. But sometimes I just keep talking and then see where I land. Which I'm kind of like Michael Scott in that way. I don't even know the quote, or else I just keep talking and hope I find myself along the way. Hope I find where I'm going along the way. I don't know what he says, but that's how I feel sometimes. But with these Languo gel pens, I have seen a lot of people try them out, which is awesome because they are affordable. So I don't know how they stand against the test of time and the test of multiple uses. I think there are a couple colors that they didn't get low, but they maybe got like a third of the way down from my Encanto page, like due to that page. So I honestly can't tell, but there's so many colors, so they're just so affordable and like economical. And the nice thing with them selling in tiny packs is that people are able to, right here, people are able to just order the pack with the color that they're missing. So like, say this is from a skin tone or something pack. If I ran out of this 95, instead of waiting to use my entire set of Languo gel pens, all I would need to do is order the 9-pack from wherever, Shein, because they do sell them individually. I think they're also on AliExpress. But I would only have to order that 1 pack, and then, you know, I would have maybe 8 extra, but I don't have to buy an entirely new set of 100 and whatever I bought, 142 pack, which that's the hard thing with the Tule Art markers is they're expensive. So if you run out of a certain color, you kind of just got to be without that color unless you want to drop another 35, 40 bucks on a pack. And I honestly, though, I haven't run out of a Tule Art marker, like ink-wise. The biggest thing is that if I don't use a certain marker for a long time, then they're just like impossible to paint with. Like the paint is just either dried up on the nib, and sometimes I can even replace the nib and it doesn't even make a difference. Like, unfortunately, the marker is still a dud and hard to use. So that's the annoying thing, is if you did run out of a color, or I guess if you wanted to replace a certain color, you couldn't really do that, which I actually saw on TikTok one time that Tule Art's TikTok account, they sell individual markers, which is nice, but only from I believe it's the earth tones and the essentials pack. So I do use those probably the most, but I mean, I use the skin tones a lot too. Like, that's my other big one. So, yeah. And the other crappy thing is I actually lost a marker. Like, I haven't lost very many markers, but with going to people's houses and doing all that stuff, I've actually lost one of my Tule Art markers, and it's the number 1 in the skin tone, which I used all the time before I lost it. So that really stinks, and it is not one of the, well, I haven't looked recently, but it is not one of the markers that they sell individually. So honestly, what I've been doing is using I have the 3mm set, so the big marker nib. I've been using that if I really can't find a substitute, because I do use it a lot, especially with my princesses, because it's like a fair tone. So that is not ideal, but that's kind of what I have to do, because I don't want to buy a completely new skin tones pack until I've used up more markers from there, because it just doesn't make sense, because then I'm just going to have a lot of extra of the other colors, and who knows like when I'll go through those and use them up. So I'm skipping to this light green, which is adding a lot of contrast to this page, which I really like. I think that's really pretty. I do think I'm going to end this video soon because I do not know what else to talk about. Hope I caught you guys on a good day, and let me know. That's weird. Do you see that? I'm doing the C and there's no line between the C and the B. So I'm just gonna have to make one up. That's the other good thing about being able to look in the back, but I'm just gonna do that. What was I saying? Hope you guys have a good day finishing out. Let me know if you guys have done this page and how it turned out. Let me know if that little tutorial with the gel pens was helpful, because that's what I'm here for. You know, hopefully my trial and error can help you guys not make the mistakes I did with the ink, and maybe inspire you to get some and try it out. Because on these pages with these insane details, it is just so nice to have these gel pens, because you can kind of see, like, in retrospect, like how thin these lines were that I just drew. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.